Hello everyone, this is Gayle, and I'm going to show you, this is another demo for RJ Crafts, and today I'm going to play with these stacked earrings. And I just noticed, because when I opened them and played with them, I was using scrap clay, and the clay is on my cutters. Always wipe your cutters off when you're finished using them, and then you won't have to worry about what I did. Now this is a set of, let me see, first of all, it's cutter set number 141, and it's got 4 pieces. And it's got this piece, and then a smaller one like that, and then it's got some mirror image pieces. This is the base, this is the middle layer, and that's the top. And I have shown you in the past, this is some, let me take the plastic off so you can see what it is. This is some black clay that I put some silver leaf on. Let me get it up closer. And then I crackled it. And I just wanted to show you, this is something that you can certainly use, but I thought today I would do a different crackle using acrylic paint. Everybody may not have silver or gold leaf, so I'm going to show you using acrylic paint. Now I'm going to use the Liquitex acrylic. This is iridescent rich gold, and I probably got this at AC Moore or whatever. I'm sure they've got it on Amazon. And you can use a brush, but I found that I get just as good a coverage using my finger. Matter of fact, I think I got better coverage using my finger. And just put on a nice good coat of the gold. And this is black clay rolled out to the thickest setting of the pasta machine. I may put a little bit more just because there's some black showing through in places. And that's okay, because we're going to crackle it anyway, but it's always nice to have it done. Now the hardest part is waiting for this to dry. And I did another one, but it's still not dry either. So I'm just going to turn the camera off, and I will be back when this dries. Okay, it's taking a little longer than I thought for the paint to dry on those. So I think while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and at least get started doing the other pieces. Now the part that I painted is rolled out to the thickest setting of my pasta machine, which on my machine, which is an Atlas, is a 0. But this sheet is rolled out to a number 3. And I'm going to use the number 3 sheet to cut a background. So this is the background cutter. And because I didn't put it on the glass, it didn't stick, so it came out in the cutter. Let me see how it does if I do it on the glass. See, it'll stick to the glass. It actually gives you a cleaner cut. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to just run my finger along the edge, which kind of gets rid of all those little ragged edges. There you go. I'll do the same on this one. Now I could have done this before I cut them out, but I didn't. I have a book full of texture sheets, but I thought I'd go with something simple on these. I've got dots and I've got square lines. And these are just the Makin's texture sheets. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just texture these with the lines. And just pull it up slowly. So that's going to be the very background. And then I'm going to cut two of the tiny ones, which is the front. And this time I'm going to go ahead and texture the sheet before I cut them out. And you can do this just with your finger. You can use the end of your acrylic rod like this. You can do anything you want just to get your dots in there. I don't think it takes as much pressure as I was using. But see, that came up. And let me show you these together. Let me come in a little bit. Okay, I can't move the stripes. They're stuck to my work surface, but you can see the stripes, and then these are the dots. So I'm just going to lift these up. And put them on a piece of cardstock to go into the oven. Now, if you would rather curve these, you can curve them by putting them on a light bulb or a glass bowl, which would give them a little bit of curve. But these I'm going to do just the way they are. And then the little one I'm going to cut with the dots, just so we have two different textures. I'll show you on the glass. If you cut it out on your glass or a tile, tile works the same. Give it a little bit of a twist and it sticks to your tile. And I'm just going to smooth this a little bit. I do my main smoothing after it's baked. This is just to kind of get it so you don't have a lot of ragged edges. So that's going to be my top piece. And let me see how my gold is doing. It feels dry. I'll find out when I put it through the pasta machine. Now the gold, this was a pasty gold. You know, it's a thick in a tube. You can also use just the liquid acrylic gold, and that works just as well. But what I'm going to do, because this is on a 0, I'm going to roll this through my pasta machine at going down one setting, which would be to the number 1. And you can see it didn't do anything. But I'm going to turn it, went through this way. Now I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to go down one more setting. And it still didn't do anything. So let's turn it one more time. And it still is not crackling. This paint is stretching, so maybe this was not the way to go. It's beginning to crackle a little bit. Now, this looks like this paint isn't going to do what I want it to do. You can pull it a little bit. And I'm getting some crackle. I don't know if you can see it. It's very fine. Could be the paint's not dry enough. I've got the other one sitting over here drying. I may wait and see what that one does. But let's texture this one. Let's texture this one with, how about little waves? This is not a Macon sheet. This is a different one. And I'm just going to use my finger. And then you can place your cutter where you think it looks the best. And I'm going to cut one there. And because these are left and right, I'm going to take the other one and find a good place. That looks good. And I think I'm just going to use a little toothpick because this left some clay. Just left a little ridge around it, and I just want to, of course it probably will come up without that. Now some of it's stuck. So I'll just pull it off. And anything that's left I can take care of after it bakes. But this is going to be our center layer. And you have a choice. You can poke a hole in it now, or you can wait until it bakes. And I think I'm going to wait until it bakes. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and even though it's thin, I'm still going to bake it for an hour because I want to make sure it's very nice and strong. Let me pull these up just a little bit so you can see the texture on them. I think these will look real nice together. So I'll be back after these are baked. Okay, our pieces are out of the oven. And I am going to just take a piece of sandpaper, if I can find the right one. This is not real fine, but it's not real coarse either. So it's probably about a 300 or 400 grit. But I'm just going to go around these edges to smooth the edges a little bit. Get rid of those little raggedy pieces if there are any. And you can tell by the way it feels whether there's anything on there or not. I think these I got pretty smooth. And the little ones Really don't need much of any smoothing. They came out looking pretty good anyway. So this has a little bit of a piece on the back, just like it looks like it might have turned in just a little bit. And then this is the gold piece. So I'm gonna drill my holes, and I keep a piece of foam here in my drawer to use when I drill my holes, just to give it a little bit of cushion. And let me decide where I'm going to put the hole. I also keep two different little pin vices. And I don't know if you can tell online, but this one is skinnier than this one. This one I would use if I was using a cord or something like that. And the other one, this one, I use if I'm going to use like a jump ring, which is probably what I'm going to end up using on this. And I think I'm going to... Black is just so hard to see. Oh, and I got the wrong glasses on. I've ordered new glasses, and I got a pair of reading glasses to use here. I'll tell you what, before I do the big one, I think I'll do the little one. And see how far down I can come on the little one. I think I can come down maybe this far. I'm not pressing hard, I'm letting the drill do the work. See it when it went all the way through. And I didn't make that very good centered. You can see it's over to one side. So I'm going to try to do the other one the same way, just so they'll match. So let's see. So this one I'll put over towards this side. And just go lightly. If you press too hard, you stand a chance of breaking your clay piece. And you can see all these are shavings that are coming up out of the hole. Whoops, there we go. So I've got those done. And these little hand drills are really handy, and they work a lot. It takes a few minutes longer than a Dremel or a drill, but you take less of a chance of damaging your piece. So I'm done with that. And now I think what I'm going to do is to coat this with resin. With this being paint, of course it's not very shiny. It didn't dry very shiny. So I think what I'm going to do is coat it with resin. And I've shown you that before, but I will show you again. And I use the Tiny Pandora Deep Shine UV resin. And I'm not going to need much because this is a very little bit So I'm just going to pour just a little bit into my cup. And I like to wipe it off with my brush. Excuse me. And I can use that and since this has stripes, I'm going to go across this way so that the resin gets down in those grooves. I'm putting it on pretty thin. And let me just get a pin to hold this while I get the tip. And I'll do the other one the same way. Okay, so that's pretty much done. So I'm going to transfer these to a piece of foil and put them in my under my UV light just for about 3 or 4 minutes because this is a very thin coat, and then I'll be back. All right. While I had the camera off, I went ahead and made some more shapes out of the different colors. Because I decided, these are the originals that I did, and I decided I would try to, where'd it go? I thought I would try to show you different possibilities. Had a bubble on this one, I didn't see it. But anyway, rather than put each one of these together as an earring, I thought I would just cut a piece of wire and hang them on here the way that I think they would look good. So let's do this one. This was the original with the black and the gold and then the little black top. And the resin got in this hole a little bit. I probably ought to get a T-pin, which, you know, I always have a zillion of them around, but the time I need one, couldn't find one. And let me just go through this hole. Hopefully the T-pin will go through that resin. There we go. So this was the first one that we did, or I did. Let me see if I can show that to you. This would be the black background with the gold center and the black. And just pretend like that. I've got to tilt it so you can see it, but anyway, it's hard to keep this straight, but if this were hanging on a round thing. So that's the first pair of earrings. Now let's take this off. And I used the silver crackle that I had done. And we again can put the black center back on that one. So there it is with the silver crackle. which I like this better. I like silver much better than gold. That's my color. So there would be the silver crackle. Let's see. There's the silver crackle, and then I can put the silver little top on top of it, like that. Okay, I also did just silver clay. And again, you can use the black on top of that if you want to keep it black and silver. And let's see what other kind of configuration I can come up with. I made some of the backgrounds out of the gold. So what I really like about this resin is it really, if you look at the back of this silver, I mean it's silver, but it's not sparkly. But if you turn it over where the resin is, I don't know if you can see the shimmer, but you can see the little bits of mica in there. It's really pretty. So this one is gold, so let's put a black one. I did a black center. And then let's put a gold on top. So there was gold in the background, whereas the other one had black in the background. Here we go. These are just reversed. And let's see what other kind of combinations can I come up with. You could, if you don't want to put the little piece on it, you could just hang these two together on a wire. Or you could do just the black and the gold. But I like this extra little piece that goes on the front. I like that. But I think my favorite, my personal favorite, is the black with the silver crackle. And then the black on the top. I think this is my personal favorite. So you can just see there's so many different ways you can use this. Matter of fact, what I would do, and I would make at least one pair of the black, one pair in gold, one pair in silver. I didn't make a silver background. And then I would keep all these parts, and then when I'm ready to wear them, let me show you something. These are my earring findings, but you can get findings like this that are like little circles. If I can get them separated. Like this is just a silver circle. And you could put them on here. Say I'm going to do the black. And the silver crackle. Well, it helps if I'm trying to put the hole on the end, or put it on with the end where the hole is. Helps a lot. And this one seems to be plugged up. So let me get the other one. I know I got the other one undone. It's one thing you probably ought to check before you put it into the UV light is to make sure that any holes you have are not plugged up. But see, I could put this on like this. Excuse me. And then the next time I wear it, I could just slip these off. And then maybe I want to wear the gold ones next time. Maybe I would do this. Maybe I'd wear a gold and a black. And a gold. And just put them on. This would, I would have a little hook. You bend a little hook in the end of this to hook into this loop. But that way they would be interchangeable. And you can just change them the way that you want. So these could be very handy. I've also got bigger hoops. If you don't like little hoops, I've got bigger ones. Like this. I think I got a variety pack of earring findings like this, and I've used a bunch of them, but I still have a bunch, but I've got all kinds of hooks and things in here. But that would be a good idea to use these round hoops, and that way you can mix and match and just have a little box with all your little pieces in it. And you can pick the ones that you want to wear. So this is the cutter set number 141. It's the stacked earrings. So hopefully you got something out of this and would be excited. I think I'm going to make all kinds of earrings out of this one. So hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back again soon with another project from RJ Crafts. Thanks. Bye-bye.